Hey guys, Sean from SGT Report here with another video I don't want to make. More bad news. Trump is reportedly mulling reneging on yet another campaign pledge thanks to Ivanka and Jared Kushner. Now, first of all, I don't remember any of us voting for Ivanka or Jared Kushner, both of whom are hardcore New York liberals. Let me just give you a little background here from Zero Hedge, and then we're going to get into the guts of the matter. Now, I've heard others say that if Trump flip-flops and starts saying that global warming is a real threat to humanity, it's game over. As Zero Hedge is reporting, the global warming activist Democrats in Trump's White House, led by Ivanka and Jared Kushner, are trying to convince the president to renege on yet another campaign pledge against the advice of Steve Bannon. According to Bloomberg, a pro-Paris bloc in his administration, which targets greenhouse emissions, is recruiting energy companies to lobby the president to remain in the controversial agreement that he specifically said was a waste of money during the campaign. He also said it was bad for America.
I am skeptical of international unions that tie us up and bring America down. And under my administration, we will never enter America into any agreement that reduces our ability to control our own affairs.
Now, I want to remind everybody that the Paris Agreement, formed under Obama, commits America to cut emissions by 26% by 2025. Let me tell you what that means to you. If the powers that be enforce that hardcore rule and do not release new forms of energy for the American people, we will soon find ourselves deeply in a state of serfdom. And don't think it's not purposefully being done. The UN Agenda 2030 policies are by design meant to remove your access to affordable energy. Labeled fossil fuels, these energies, coal, oil, and other forms of energy on which we've relied for the last 100 years, will be done away with under the guise of saving the planet. And if you think that's the end of it, it gets far worse between 2030 and 2050. According to Bill Gates in his 2010 TED Talk, Innovating to Zero, his vision is to cut carbon emissions globally to zero by 2050.
I asked the top scientists in this several times, do we really have to get down to near zero? Can't we just, cut it in half or a quarter? And the answer is that until we get near to zero, the temperature will continue to rise. And so that's a big challenge. It's very different than saying, we're a 12-foot high truck trying to get under a 10-foot bridge and we can just sort of squeeze under. This is something that has to get to zero.
Now, what that literally means to us as human beings is this. If they do not release black budget, off-book, secret technologies to replace our old forms of energy, and they quote-unquote innovate to zero, we will be living as serfs. You will not be able to burn coal. You will not be able to use oil. You will not have access to natural gas. You will not be able to heat your home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the origins of the environmental movement as we see it began back in 1968 when the Club of Rome was formed. The Club of Rome has been described as a crisis think tank which specialises in crisis creation. The main purpose of this think tank was to formulate a crisis that would unite the world and condition us to the idea of global solutions to local problems. In a document called The First Global Revolution, authored by Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider, on pages 104 and 105, it stated, "In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers, of course, will be caused by human intervention that will require a global response."
And I want to quote a commenter in the Zero Hedge comments section, Runnymede, who said this at 4:49 p.m. today, April 19th, and I quote, "Global warming remediation measures in tandem with fiat money are the ultimate control mechanisms for the globalist central planner psychopaths. There will be no private activity that is not regulated, or private property. As soon as anyone mentions global warming or climate change, they have self-identified as your enemy. If Trump goes anywhere near this, his journey to the dark side will be complete." And I think that's actually very well said, because those of us who are awake and informed are very well aware of the UN Agenda 2030 policies to strip you of your property rights and to ensnare you in their globalist climate change policies that will make current forms of energy unaffordable and inaccessible. Now, incidentally, it's also being reported that because of Paul Ryan's recent speech praising the TTIP, there seems to be a slight chance that Trump might also flip his opinion on the TTP and the TTIP, both of which he said were very bad for Americans. But at this point, it's beginning to look like anything is possible, and I'll leave you with this. As it pertains to global censorship of truth, like the truth I just shared with you, it seems that the Orwellian boot stomping on the face of humanity is only getting worse. I received this YouTube message yesterday, April 18th, regarding your account, sgtreport.com. We have received a legal complaint regarding your video from the government. After review, the following video, Pedogate, Hampstead Uncovered, has been blocked from view on the following YouTube country sites. United Kingdom. YouTube blocks content where necessary to comply with local laws. Please review our Help Center article on legal complaints. Sincerely, the YouTube team. Now, just so everyone understands, Hampstead Uncovered features an interview with Ella Draper, the mother of the 2 children said to have been abused in a satanic ritual abuse pedophile ring in the UK.
I know there's been no investigation, there's been no proper police statement taken from this woman because of the way she's been harassed. I also know that we have child abuse in this country to epidemic levels.
She was demonized and drummed out of the country by a weaponized mainstream media who targeted her and called her a liar who coaxed her kids into the most dramatic testimony anyone's just about ever seen about this type of abuse.
As a former police officer of 20 years, I had the opportunity of actually sitting with a mother in this case for 3 hours. I can absolutely tell you with my experience of interrogation over a 20-year period, as a former detective sergeant, she was speaking 110% truth.
Nor did they do any investigation into the testimony provided by those children about the tattoos and birthmarks on those that perpetrated crimes against those children, all of which is testimony that you could find right now on YouTube, or, while you still can, watch my micro-documentary, Pedogate, Hampstead Uncovered, because if you live in the UK, they will not let you access that information. It's Big Brother on steroids. It's the brave new world we face, and the brave new world is a new world order that none of us should want. Thanks for watching, and for real news 24/7, visit us at sgtreport.com.
This secret interactive alliance that developed between esoteric occult practices, Satanism, and various intelligence agencies, and the connection to the Hampstead cover-up has been exposed.